Hou Hsiao, which scene in your latest film, The Assassin, are you most proud of and why?
Actually, one part that I can think of that I liked is the part where her father has already been injured, so they're just hiding out like in the village and in a farmhouse, and then she was brewing medicine for her dad. That scene, and then she subsequently starts saying that she is very lonely. She's the only person of her kind. There's no one else like her. And then she even just got quite emotional as she's delivering that line. I think that whole sequence I like quite a bit.
In American cinema, there is a phrase, "We'll fix it in post." What are your thoughts on editing and that phrase?
Yeah, for me, I definitely agree with that statement. Because for me, if something is not working, I just cut it out. I cut out whatever it is that I don't like. And some people worry about continuity, but I feel like there's actually always a way out in terms of continuity. You will figure something out that will still somehow make the movie make sense. So I am a strong believer in editing.
I've read that you've said your films are much more popular in Japan or Europe. Why not in your homeland?
Yeah, I think it's difficult because in Taiwan, most people still watch Hollywood movies. Hollywood movies are very popular in Taiwan. And obviously Hollywood movies, they tend to be more dramatic. There's a lot going on. It's very heightened. So for this generation of moviegoer and spectators in Taiwan, that's the kind of movies they like. And this movie, it took me several years to make it. So now I feel like I'm actually dealing with even a newer generation of audience whose taste is even harder for me to grasp and who have even a set of aesthetics and taste that's even further removed from the previous generation. So this is a unique challenge for me, and it's something that I'm trying to figure out because I feel like my movies could be quite difficult for people, for these audiences.
How does he feel that the new generation's tastes have changed? That's very interesting.
Because I think the internet actually has changed a lot of things because I think this new generation, their viewing habit is different because they view a lot of stuff on their device. So the way people consume media, consume film is actually fundamentally different from before. Now I think people generally tend to be less patient because they can very easily choose whatever they want and they can skip and stop and go somewhere else if they decide not to watch something. Whereas a movie, especially going to a theater and being a spectator with an audience, that requires a certain amount of participation and patience and endurance even. But with this generation of young people who just watch movies and consume content on digital devices, I feel like they are probably less patient. They can watch an entire movie and consume content like riding the subway and watching stuff on their cell phone. So I feel like that's one way in which the viewing habit is fundamentally changed, and that's creating new aesthetics and new perception as well.
Hou Hsiao, of your career, of your numerous movies, you've had a documentary made about you, you've had books written, people theorize about your filmmaking, you've been at Cannes so many times. What has been the most, greatest reward from the whole journey of all of that?
Yeah, for me, actually, it's simply been about just choosing the path of movie itself, choosing to be a filmmaker. That itself has been filled with joy, that has been rewarding. Because you could say that I've been through a lot of things. I wanted to make movies at an early age, and I did end up making movies, and I feel like I did reach a certain level. But obviously, when it comes to artistic creation or any kind of artistic expression, I feel like there shouldn't be an end. There shouldn't be like a limit to it. It's important for one to keep exploring and keep moving forward and moving further down. So for me, even though I am 68 right now, I'm almost 70 actually, almost quite old, but I feel like I still have the same energy, the same motivation. I just want to keep pushing the boundary, keep moving forward and explore the medium of cinema even further. So for example, we were talking about digital communication and the digitalization of cinema. For me, I actually want to explore that. For my next film, I want to shoot on digital camera and just to experiment with that. So I'm someone who just wants to keep pushing forward and just keep going down this path.
I believe in a documentary about you, Hou Hsiao. It was done when you were around 50. Your grandmother had gone to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller said, "Oh, he is going to be a very powerful man." How much do you attribute your career to luck and good fortune, and how much hard work and attention to detail? Your movies are very detailed and very beautiful, with subtle little things in them that really stand out. How much of that is detail, and how much is luck?
Yeah, because what happened originally was I was born in mainland China, and at the time it was popular to go to the fortune tellers. So what the fortune teller exactly said at the time was that one day I would become an important official, and this is really means sort of an official within the government. That's what the fortune teller meant, that would become a major, important official. So I thought to I've thought about this before, like I didn't really exactly become an official, but then I thought to myself, maybe becoming a director, that's sort of like a government official in the sense that I get to control people, I get to manage and supervise certain things. But just talking about my filmmaking career itself, I think I just want to emphasize the fact that movie has been really worthwhile for me because it's about human beings. It's dealing with the human characters, the human beings in front of the camera. And I feel like humans are fascinating, they're wonderful, they're interesting, they're moving, they're compelling. Just humanity itself is so beautiful and compelling. And I'm someone who fundamentally believes in decency and the compassion and the goodness of people. So to want to continue to focus on human beings, to make them the subject of my film, that itself is an expression and an act of faith, in the sense that I have faith that human beings are fundamentally good, that no matter what happens, even though there's been a lot of prophecies and prediction about how humanity, we're losing our basic decency, we're becoming worse and worse, but I do believe that at the end of the day, we have that capacity for good, for compassion, for beauty, and that itself is very moving to me. And to be able to capture that, to be able to make movies focusing on that itself has been so worthwhile. So movies are very moving for me, because even to this day, I would watch movies in the theater, on television, and oftentimes I get profoundly moved by the stuff I see, because I feel like movies are an expression of these artists' perception and perspective on the world, and it's an extension of that. And for me to be able to behold that, to be able to watch that itself is moving. So movies are really a source of great beauty and profound source of comfort even for me.
Beautiful. Thank you. 谢谢.
Thank you.